Again, everybody, no intro today. We're getting straight into this. Superman is a campy overcorrection Man of Steel. You know what? Let's see.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I've begun uploading some content onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that site too. Also, give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But alrighty then, let's dive on into the opinions of people who have seen the movie and whose word I trust. We will start with fellow YouTuber Yellow Flash, who wrote that Superman was great, nothing woke, and the immigrant thing is BS, it's a fun comic book movie and unapologetically so. Now, Yellow Flash took a lot of flack from people who really want this movie to fail, but I do appreciate the fact that Flash is giving his honest opinion here. He sticks to his guns, and that's cool. That being said, someone asked him how much James Gunn humor is in it, and he answered, it's there. Too much sometimes. So, it definitely sounds like you really have to enjoy that style of writing, or at least be able to look past it, in order to properly enjoy this film. But anyhow, Quarter Black Garrett wrote this here, saying, this movie will be polarizing, and I agree it's not woke or any of that. I didn't like it for purely filmmaking reasons. Glad we can get back to that kind of discourse about a movie. And yes, it is refreshing to be able to discuss the merits of a movie without centering the conversation around whether or not it was ruined by progressive politics.
Before I let Dr. Disaster continue, that is so good. Yes, it's good for us to discuss this and not saying if it's woke or not, but then again, you know how people, they tend to run their mouth. Remember Rachel Zegler? She couldn't even shut up. The moment she opened her mouth, say, oh, I don't know, Snow White is weird, and or in this case, Trump supporters can know no peace. What happened after that? The movie failed. Flop. Kaput. Panito. Let's see what James Gunn had to say.
If only James Gunn had just kept his mouth shut the other day during that interview where he talked about kindness and immigration. He scared a lot of people away. Even if it wasn't his fault, he needs to learn to not be baited. But anyhow, Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers then wrote this in response to Quarter Black Garrett. He said, it's not woke at all, but it's not good. Nerdrotic said much the same thing. Superman was not woke and a total disappointment. Here is what Chris Gore of Film Threat said about the movie though, and for reference, this is the guy who last year alerted everyone ahead of time about the franchise-breaking occurrences that took place in the third episode of Star Wars The Acolyte. He correctly informed everyone that that episode would irreparably harm the Star Wars franchise. His opinion carries a lot of weight for me. He said, great cast, David Corenswet is a fantastic Superman, authentic and unapologetically comic book inspired like a live-action cartoon. Unfortunately, James Gunn's Superman feels like a recap video of Season 1 of a Superman TV series on Max. This is a Gen Z Superman for the TikTok generation. The hyper-fast pace is both a strength and a weakness. Everything about this Superman is the polar opposite of Zack Snyder's darker, far more serious and epic vision. Now, that definitely sounds like a take on the character that was not made for me and I'm not interested in.
Yeah, not everybody's interested, unless of course if you like Henry Cavill, that is. Look, generally speaking, every people, in this case, they all have their own interests, whether it's, I don't know, the DCU, DCEU, or the animated series, whatever it is, everyone has their own different interests. You can't please everybody. The moment you make either a video game or a TV show or even a movie for everybody, you end up making for nobody.
That was not made for me and I'm not interested in. There were times Snyder's films were too serious for me, but going the exact opposite direction is not what this doctor ordered either. But reading on, he said, there is a terrible, lore-breaking story element involving Superman's Kryptonian heritage that was truly awful. I hope that gets fixed somehow in a future film. Superman will be divisive and create the kind of conversations I've had so many times in a comic book store. I have so many nitpicks, and strangely, I'm looking forward to seeing it again. It's also refreshing to see women allowed to be sexy in a modern Hollywood movie. Heels, skirts, cleavage. Kids and families will love it. At this point, it sounds like people are just starved for a movie that is not tainted by woke shit, so much so that they're willing to embrace anything else. This might push Superman over the moon when it comes to the box office, though. Kinda like Top Gun Maverick a few years ago. It will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Before we get to the side scroll thing, but just remember one thing. Everyone is desperate, okay? How many movies from either Marvel or DC, or in this case Star Wars, have been flop after flop? Well, yes, there are some goods, but you got like what, 1 out of 10 flops? I mean, assuming if the one movie that didn't flop can make more money. But then again, these people, when they see one movie make successful, they just burn them all away. That money is gone forever.
Interesting to see how that plays out. But then, here's what the Side Scrollers podcast said about the movie. We'll be brutally honest. For the first 30 minutes, we weren't even sure what the hell we were watching. Why are Superman and Lois Lane bickering for a full 10 minutes? Why does everyone at the Daily Planet feel like cardboard cutouts instead of actual people? We weren't laughing, we weren't feeling it. Is this the film that's supposed to top Man of Steel? That's meant to kick off a better cinematic universe than the DCEU? This felt more like a Saturday morning cartoon, and then it clicked. This doesn't have the brooding maturity of a Snyder film or the gravitas of something desperate to compete with the MCU. No, this is a Silver Age comic brought to the silver screen. This is a Saturday morning cartoon aimed squarely at kids. This is the anti-Man of Steel. We shifted our expectations and filters accordingly. The jokes started landing, the crypto scenes started making sense, even the ADHD style cinematography began to shine. Not saying we were vibing with every creative choice, but we started seeing the vision. You'll need to let your inner 10-year-old out for this one. Trust us, the third act makes it worth it. It's pure, crash your toys together until something snaps energy, and it rules. It's honest, sincere, it has heart, and the action is earned.
Oh, let's see that last one. I need to read that. The third act. Of course you do. You put the third act just to get the... Wow. Putting in the third act at the moment where, I don't know, people just... I'm certain some people, while they're waiting for the third act of the film, they probably just snooze. Or perhaps in this case, what I would do is simple. Put the popcorn on my face, wait until there is a third act or anything, and put it back out. So I can see. Sometimes you have to know that regardless whether it's a movie or not, you have to hook people in, okay? The opening will always be the one that hook people in, hook the viewers in. I mean, how many people who watches those movies left in the, I don't know, 30-minute mark or perhaps 10-minute marks or something? Because I know this movie is about 2 hours long or less than that. What about you guys? Did you watch the movie the whole way through, or did you wait until the third act, or perhaps you leave before the third act? Say in the comments.
Sincere, it has heart, and the action is earned. And let me say this, the whole thing kinda reminds me of the Batman movies from the late 80s and the 90s. The first two Batman films, Batman 1989 and Batman Returns, those were dark as hell, but McDonald's complained that they weren't selling enough Happy Meals, so Joel Schumacher came in and made Batman Forever, which was goofy and unserious as hell. That movie was only saved by its stellar cast, with Val Kilmer, Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones, etc. Then they got even campier with Batman and Robin. But anyhow, the point is, what we're seeing with Superman, sounds an awful lot like an overcorrection, just like they did with those old Batman movies. I would agree that we could have used a less dark and less serious Superman film after the Snyder movies, but this sounds like a bit much.
Yeah, we could have that though. I mean, we can convince James Gunn, although the problem is it's Warner Bros. You heard what happened with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. How many did that end up failing? Yeah, it may not be related, but look, I'm pointing it out. How many activists are still in Warner Brothers these days? That's the real question. And why do I get the feeling any activist executive probably not gonna like Superman. I mean, seriously, we only see Man of Steel and then Superman vs. Batman. We never see a sequel to Man of Steel. Or generally, how come we never seen one? Why didn't Warner Bros. Greenlit one? Now I'm gonna have to check this, or in case the reviews, to see if there's still user reviews. If there isn't, I will tell you. If there is, I will tell you too. But I also want to ask you, have you gone to the film and watched James Gunn's Superman? If so, what was your experience? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it mid? Say everything in the comments.
Today, back off from those controls.
That's so cute. Between you and me, I did get a little something extra from Brainiac for my troubles. He gave me the technology to make these. Cool.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, gaming theories, or you just want to see me play games. You can visit my first, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.